it's Sarah and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a very fun video for you. I am in the middle of packing up for our upcoming cruise in a couple of weeks, so I figured what better time to show you all of my cruise essentials. I will link most of these items down in the description box below if I can find them on Amazon. Otherwise, I'll just try to find something very similar. You'll also be able to find most of these in my Amazon storefront, and I'm actually going to have a little bit more than 35 single items because of the way I categorize these things. It'll make a little bit more sense as I go through the list. But this video will contain all of your cruise necessities, so not only will it create a good guide for your next shopping list, but it's also an excellent video to have playing in the background as you pack your cruise necessities to make sure you don't leave anything behind. We've got quite a bit of stuff to talk about, so let's go ahead and get started. My very first cruise must-have is an organizer. It's meant to house all of your cruise documentation and travel documentation. So as you can see, I've got my passports at the very front. I've got a boarding pass right here. I've got a pen just in case I need to jot anything down. And on the back side, I have my hotel reservations. I've got our COVID vaccination test results. We've got shore excursion information. And peeking up here at the top corner is my vaccination card. A lot of cruise lines requirements have changed, however the particular one we're going on is still requiring proof of vaccination, so that's why I brought my card along. I ended up getting this little sleeve for it so that it's less likely to get damaged. Keeps it pretty safe in here. I absolutely love having something like this to keep all of my documents organized and in one spot. I know these are a little bit harder to find sometimes, so I have another option for you. These little accordion filers make a great organizer as well. Plus they have a lot of little compartments where you can categorize everything. Like if you want to save your receipts or keep cash on hand for tips, you can have room for that in here as well. Next is going to be a lanyard with an attached ID holder. These are very handy because you will be issued a SeaPass, and a SeaPass is basically your lifeline to your cruise. You're able to unlock your door with it, you're able to charge items on it, and you're able to use it as your little pass to get back on the ship from the port. So it's very useful to have that handy, and with it being on a lanyard attached to your neck, you'll never have to worry about it. It's something that you definitely don't want to lose. This particular one is also retractable, and it attaches right here, so you can easily throw it into a smaller purse if you'd like, or throw it into your pocket. Next are cruise outfits. This is probably one of the funnest things to choose for the cruise, for me anyway. You just want to make sure you have all of your necessities depending on where your destination is. Like let's say if you're going to somewhere tropical, you want to make sure you got your bathing suits, your hats, your sunscreens, lip balm, sunglasses, all of that. And if you're going to somewhere colder, you want to make sure you have all of your snow gear or heavy jackets. And some cruises may even have a formal night, so you want to make sure you've got your evening wear. Formal wear is my absolute favorite thing to pick out because I love getting all dressed up, getting the matching shoes, the matching bag, the jewelry, and getting those professional pictures out of it. I just have such a good time with that. There may also be other types of theme nights, so you want to make sure you're prepared for that as well. Sometimes they have a Caribbean theme, an all-white party theme, like an 80s theme, just depending on the cruise and the ship. Another thing you also want to make sure is to have the proper attire for your excursions. So depending if you're going to have a lazy beach day, or if you're going to be walking through the city, you might want to bring some really comfortable shoes. If you're going to be hiking, you want to make sure to wear boots. If you're riding through the jungle, you want to make sure you have long sleeves. But whatever adventure you decide to go on, just make sure you have the proper clothing. My personal rule of thumb is to bring 2 outfits for every port day, just because I really love doing excursions. And if I'm on an excursion from, let's say, 8 to 4, 8 to 5, I kind of want to freshen up and wear something different for the evening shows, dinner, and casino, things like that. I'm actually going to be doing a separate video of all of the cruise outfits I plan on bringing to our Caribbean cruise, as well as another video of how I strategically pack my luggage for a longer cruise, just so that I can make use of all the space that I've got in my luggage. So if you guys are interested in either of those videos, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on either one. Next is going to be a cruise carry-on bag. So as soon as you get to port, they take your luggage immediately from you, and you do not see that thing for a few hours. You will have made it onto the ship, and you would have explored the ship for a few hours before you ever see that thing again. So you want to make sure you have a few of the most essential items right on hand. That'll include your travel documents, maybe your swimsuit, medicine, your items of value like your laptop, your iPad, camera, maybe the tripod, and all the batteries that go with it in case you need to charge up, hat, sunscreen, lip balm, all of those fun things you want to make sure you have right on hand. Also note that there may be long queues for basically everything right when you get on, so if you do have smaller children and you want to keep them occupied, this is the time to pull out those iPads and make sure that they are in that carry-on. Next are some luggage tag holders. So your cruise line is going to send you some luggage tags to print out on your own, and obviously it's going to be of just regular printer paper, and that can be very easily damaged. It can rip off, or it can get wet, or just get lost altogether. So you want to make sure you get something that'll secure them in place. So to prevent yourself from the headache of accidentally losing your luggage or getting your luggage delayed, go ahead and invest in these. These are reusable. Make sure you get the ones specifically made for your cruise line because each cruise line have different size luggage tags. So next are going to be cruise organizers. For this particular one, I'm going to have 5 different things for you guys. First one is going to be a toiletry bag, and this one is actually an Amazon favorite. First off, there is a pocket right here, as you can see. Once it's all opened up, you can actually see how much you can fit. This does come in different sizes, and there are many colors available. As you saw, there are 4 total compartments. The 2 larger ones that are just like this is going to have a zipper on the top and the bottom part, and there's also going to be these spans to help hold your containers in place. My favorite part about this is that it is self-hanging. Next up is this matching jewelry organizer. It's from the same company as that toiletry bag. Again, it comes in different sizes and many different color options are available. So it opens up via snap closure. There's a zippered compartment right here. As you can see, your rings are nicely organized right there. You can store your earrings right here. There's another zippered compartment here. There's a larger clear compartment right there. Once you flip this flap over, there's an area just for necklaces, so none of your necklaces will ever be tangled again. Next is this tech organizer. There are 2 main compartments to it. This first one has all these slots for your cables, charging blocks. It's got my little thumb drive right here. There's more room right here as well, and this one actually has my external hard drive in it, and this other larger compartment just has cables in it right now, but I'm actually able to fit a large power bank right here as well. So this is very handy to have. It's great to have all your tech supplies in one spot. Next are packing cubes. I absolutely fell in love with packing cubes several years ago. I do not know what I was doing without them. So basically what I like to do is section out the types of clothing I have. So let's say I have my swimsuits in one, my undergarments in one, just regular daily clothes in one, then I've got my evening wear in one. Just a bunch of different ways you can organize your clothing, or if you want to organize by day, you can do that as well. It's very easy to do with these, and I love the fact that most of them are made with kind of like a see-through material, so you can easily see what you have instead of unpacking everything you have in your luggage. You can sort everything out by cubes and just pull out the cube that you need currently. And they do make packing cubes for shoes as well. As you can see, this one is made a little bit differently than this. It doesn't have the same see-through meshy material like this one. You can throw your shoes in here and then this into your luggage without the fear of getting your clothes soiled. And one of my most favorite organizers is going to be my makeup organizer. Everything that I usually need for a cruise will fit right in here. So here it is all opened up. I love that the brushes have their own little slot right there, and the fact that this little flap has Velcro so it can keep all of the fallout from the brushes right in there instead of getting all over the rest of the cases down here. And then there's a little zippered compartment on this side, and that's usually where I store my LED makeup mirror, and it keeps it pretty secure because it does have a softer top, so it can pretty much get banged around without the mirror breaking. So I love that. And then this area right here is pretty deep. It can hold quite a bit of items, and I love that the divider right here is adjustable so you can reconfigure it however to fit your needs. This helps me stay very organized on the desk while I'm doing my makeup because I don't have to pull every little thing out. This whole flap just opens up like this and I can see everything I've got, unlike if I were to have a regular makeup pouch. I've got to pull all the contents out to see what's in it. Next is a medicine / first aid kit. I love having it in a pouch just like this so I can keep everything together and throw it right into our excursion bag for those port days. It's very useful to have this. A lot of these, but definitely not all, will be available on your cruise ship. So here's everything that I've got in mind. We've got our C bands right here. You just put them around your wrist and they help with motion sickness and nauseousness. Then we've got the ginger candies right here. It helps with nausea, motion sickness. And then we've got some Bonine right there, basically the same exact thing. And then our daily vitamins are right there. And here's my little pill box. It's got everything from Tums to pain relievers to allergy medicine. Then we've got some Tylenol right here and some sanitizing wipes. Then I've got band-aids here and here, got a thermometer just in case, and then children's Tylenol. And sometimes these items just cost an arm and a leg on the ship, so you want to make sure you are readily prepared. Next are masks. I know that they have lifted the mask mandate on cruise lines. However, we are going on the largest cruise ship in the world and having 8,000 people on basically a floating city. Many people coming off of that particular ship are saying that they came home with COVID and their recommendations was just to wear a mask in very crowded areas like the elevator, long queues to the dining room, if it's crowded in a show, things like that. Just want to be extra prepared. I've had COVID before. Do not recommend. 0 out of 5 stars. Felt like death. I'm going to do everything I can so I don't catch it again. Next is going to be a hydration accelerator. Basically, you take one of these packets and mix it in with your water and it'll boost your hydration status up to a ridiculous amount. The sun is very brutal, so you want to make sure you stay hydrated. And my main purpose on getting this is that I'm going to actually be doing or attempting to complete a drink challenge, and I'm not a drinker at all, so hopefully this will aid me in recovery. Next are going to be sunscreen and aloe. So there's going to be certain destinations that only allow specific sunscreen, so if you're going to a country like that, make sure you check the guidelines. I just know that this one is a really good one. It is a reef repaired sunscreen. It's biodegradable and it is reef friendly. And don't be fooled because a lot of sunscreens will say reef friendly, but they contain the ingredients that are prohibited in those destinations, so make sure you double check. And then I've got some aloe. This is great to have just in case you do get sunburned. This will definitely help a lot with the discomfort as well as repairing. Next are your beverages, so you're able to bring wine, soda, and water. Just make sure to double check with your cruise lines to see what their limitations are, just so you don't take it to port with you and they end up confiscating it. Next are water bottles. These are perfect for shore days and excursions. I love these ones because they're nice and flat and they fit perfectly into my crossbody bags. A lot of people prefer the collapsible one, so that's another great option as well. Next is a power bar. There's never going to be enough outlets in a stateroom, so if you've got multiple devices like a laptop or tablet, phones, power banks, camera, you want to grab one of these because it's going to make your charging a lot more efficient. Just make sure you grab a cruise approved one. And speaking of chargers, you want to make sure that you have your power banks readily available. Again, very, very important for shore days. You do not want your phone to not have a way to charge. One of my favorites to use are the wireless one because while I'm not using my phone, I can easily set it right next to each other and stick it in a smaller pocket and it'll automatically charge without me having to put any cables to it. And I also like having a backup one just in case the other one fails or in case I leave it behind. This is one that just stays in our bag. But I think my new favorite one will be this one because I can easily charge up my phone as I'm using it. Next, don't forget to bring your camera for memories as well as a tripod. I really appreciate the tripods that come with the remotes because now you can take group pictures without having to bother strangers. Full-size tripods come in compact sizes now. I'll put the one right here that I have coming in the mail. I'm so excited to get it. Next is going to be a portable luggage scale. This is just great to have so you can keep track of your luggage in case you need to repack a specific bag to make sure that you're all under the weight restriction. Plus, this is very compact and it'll help you save a little bit of money. Next is going to be a waterproof phone pouch. These are so useful. Not only will it keep your phone damage free from water, but it'll also keep the sand or any type of debris out of it. I love this because I'm still able to use my phone and take pictures as I'm actually in the water as well as underwater. Definitely got some amazing shots for this. Next is going to be an over-the-door shoe organizer. I swear we literally had the most organized room ever. There was no clutter on the floor, nothing on the dresser, and barely anything on the desk because of this thing. It kept our shoes, our extra toiletries, our fabric spray, our water bottles when we weren't using them. It was just literally heaven sent. If you haven't tried using one of these, I definitely urge you to do it on your next cruise. Next are going to be magnet hooks. If you guys didn't know, your cabin walls are going to be made of metal, so these will easily stick on there. I basically hung everything that could be hung. I love using the majorities by our front door so we can use it kind of like a command center. So as soon as we walked in, we would throw our lanyards on it with our sea passes to make sure that we always knew where those were. We put our waterproof phone pouches on here as well, our hats, our sunglasses. These are definitely one of the greater cruise hacks. And speaking of magnets, I like to take regular magnets along as well. These are perfect for the daily newsletters they give out that list all of the shows and activities available on the ship. I also like having our excursion tickets so that we don't lose them, or in case you want to leave a note for your steward or maybe even your roommate roommates or family members, friends, you can easily display them with magnets so they're right at the forefront. But my absolute favorite use for this is to decorate our stateroom door. If you guys didn't know, you are able to decorate your stateroom doors, and you could do that very easily with magnets to hold your signs up, pictures, or whatever you want to put out there. Next are some towel clips. These are very handy for windy days, and you could even use them on shore days if you happen to be going out to the beach to hold your towels in place. A lot of people use sea bands, but I prefer the towel clips because they're a little bit more heavy duty and they can hold cover-ups and all of that in place, whereas sea bands kind of lose their stretch after a while. These can also help with tote bags. I've seen many tote bags kind of sway all around the deck, so I usually take mine just like this and stick this part right onto the lounger, and that usually does the trick. The seas out there can definitely get super crazy, so you want to make sure you've got these handy. Next are going to be excursion bags. So when you go on port, you want to make sure you bring a good sized bag with you. These are the two that I usually bring. I bring either one of these depending on the type of activity I'm going to do. If I'm just going to be shopping, very relaxed, going to the beach, then I'm going to bring this larger tote that can hold towels, water bottles, snacks, and things like that. But if I'm going to do something a little bit more strenuous, like some hiking or a city tour, I kind of want to be hands-free, so I want to bring a backpack along. Next are going to be Ziploc bags. These are great to store items like your Kindle, your power banks, things like that that you don't want sand or water to get into. Once you have those items in these bags, you can easily throw it into your bag without fear of mixing it in with your bathing suit or your towel that may be sandy. You can also keep your wet bathing suits in here as well. Next is a fan. Usually when cruisers talk about fans, they're talking about ones of this size that you can plug in to use in your stateroom. However, we haven't had that issue yet, knock on wood, but I still do suggest to bring a fan. The fans I'm talking about are these ones that you can easily throw into your purse, especially if you're going to a hotter destination on an excursion where the transit is going to be quite long, or if it's going to be an open air transit. I've been in a couple of those, and a fan would have definitely came in handy. Absolutely love this thing. It has two different speed settings. It's got a safety stop, and if you do get hot in your stateroom, after all, you could set this right onto your nightstand near your face and it'll cool you right down. Not only that, but it also works as a flashlight and as an emergency power bank, so it has triple uses. Cannot go wrong with this little gadget. Next are going to be flushable wipes or diaper wipes. I just like to keep ours in this little reusable bag. Diaper wipes are always handy to have anyway. However, you may go to a country with no toilet paper at all. You want to make sure you're prepared. Next are going to be Lysol wipes. This is pretty self-explanatory. Many surfaces are going to be touched a multitude of times, so if you need to clean anything off, you can do that very easily. I find myself using these the most on seats and tables at restaurants that haven't been properly cleaned, so I love having these handy. Next is a full-size bottle of hand sanitizers. Usually I have a bunch of little ones on our bags, but I like having the large one in our stateroom, and plus I can use it to refill the smaller bottles. They usually have hand sanitizer stations everywhere, but the lines can get pretty long, and I'm not sure if they're still requiring you to sanitize every time you go into a venue like before, but I just like having my own instead of having to wait in a super long line. Next is going to be liquid hand soap. Bar soaps are usually not as hygienic. For me, these are just a lot more convenient and effective overall. Next is going to be this sweat absorber. So if you're going to a hot destination, or you tend to produce a little bit more sweat, or if you have friction issues, this was made for you. This is a smoothing and soothing powder with calamine in it. You just sprinkle this right onto your problem areas and you're good to go. Next is going to be bathroom spray. I love the one from the Potpourri brand. This is the lavender one from them, and it works like a charm. Just like a hotel, you do not have all the room in the world, and smells travel fairly quickly, so you want to be mindful of your cabin mates and make sure you use spray when necessary. Next is going to be a DEWRINKLER. You're not going to have an iron in your stateroom, so you want to make sure you bring one of these along, especially if you plan on taking lots of pictures, and most especially on formal night. You do not want your suit jacket or evening wear and any of that to be extremely wrinkled. Not only is it a DEWRINKLER, but it's also a freshener, an odor eliminator, and a static remover. Next is an empty trash bag and some dryer sheets. So whenever you have laundry and soiled clothing, you can go ahead and just throw it in this bag and throw one of these in there to keep your luggage smelling good. This also helps separate your soiled clothing from your fresh ones. Next are sleep aids. If you are a light sleeper whatsoever or have trouble sleeping to begin with, you want to make sure you have your sleep enhancers with you. I've got my mask, sleepy gummies, I'm also bringing along my pillow spray, which has specific essential oils in it that aid in relaxation and sleep. Last but not least, my final cruise must-have is going to be an empty check-in bag. This is going to be for all the shopping you're going to be doing and all of the extra stuff that suddenly will not fit back into your luggage the way you originally packed it. I feel like that always happens. It's just always useful to have those extra bags for the just in case moments, because I feel like the moment you don't bring it is the exact moment you're going to need one. But that is everything. I'm going to be linking everything in the description box below, and you can also check out my Amazon storefront. That link is going to be down below as well, and you can have an overview of everything that I've mentioned. I'm going to be doing a separate video of my travel must-haves, the clothes I'm going to be packing specifically for my cruise. I may also post my drink challenge, I'm not sure about that one yet, and other travel related videos. So if you guys are interested, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on that. And if you found this video helpful, make sure to hit the like button as well. Other than that, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.